probably work, huh? Okay. So I want to apologize. I had to make a quick phone call. It's very important. It's over now. We hope. We hope. We don't know. All right, but it's back. Yay. Okay. We're, I'm gonna let people catch up because there were like I don't know, there were people in the other one. I want them to be in this one since otherwise I'll get complaints. So while that's happening, I'm gonna go find myself something to drink. I think water, folks. Remember that guy who got really upset with me for drinking on stream? I had like a can of Monster Energy or something like that because I was tired, like I always am, and he got really upset because I was slurping it from the. Oh, that's interesting. I thought this was blue. Yep, we're keeping this. We're keeping it like this. Did not expect that. Where'd I go? I'm right here. Why am I still getting messages? Oh, okay. No, they're good messages. They're good messages this time. Yeah, I think it's teal. I didn't think it would be hit this hard with the green screen. Whoa! It's military technology. Speaking of technology, so I don't want to laugh because this isn't that funny. But the bombing, the RV, right, that exploded. The comment sections on some of those videos, like the conspiracy theories, are coming out in force. The conspiracy theorists. One of them, there were these two comments that I saw, like almost next to each other. One was, we can't trust any of this because it can be faked. And that's okay. Things can be faked. You'd also have to pay like 2,000 people to say that they heard a loud boom or witnessed it. You'd also have to have a debris field, right? Like you can go there and see the scorch marks. So yeah, it could be faked. It's a lot more work than just making a video, but the video could be made. But knowing that it was going to get this much national attention, you need more than just a video, or else it become like, oh, this is a hoax. The other comment was, well, the blast isn't even centered on the RV. Fake. Okay, well, if you slow it down frame by frame, the blast does initiate, it starts on the RV, but it quickly moves more to the center of the street. That's probably because there's a building right next to the RV, and the blast wave rebounded off that building and pushed the fireball more to the left of the RV, to the right of our perspective of it. Like, folks, what's wrong with you? Oh yes, the missile, of course. It's a very small missile. Yeah, very expensive way to blow something up. Missiles are not cheap. I know, I tried to buy one. That's a joke, FBI. I'm kidding. I've never tried to buy a missile. Anyway, alright, we got 6 people back. That's fine. Let me see. Where was I? So I can see. Alright, this is where Willem Flattery comes out in full force. And it gets good. I gotta find a place for my cup. I'm gonna spill over myself. It's fine, whatever. But first, Alright Freeman says, I agree with him that you're a shill, suffering from 12-year-old government indoctrination camp in the media. I don't know anything else that you discussed. You try to play cool yet avoid facts with me. No, I present facts. I ignore nonsense. So, he goes, I don't know. You're 100% wrong, and yet he can't establish it. That's fine. Am I on private rights or communism? I'm on neither. It's not just two choices. That's a false dichotomy. That is a it's a problem right there. If you ever been to debate club, you know. Oops. fairly certain that's a false dichotomy. The doesn't matter. The people created the government. How can the government then regulate the people? What? The government's created to regulate the people. See, this is a clear indicator you don't know anything about the government, right? You, as a citizen, have the right to elect people into office. You elect people to basically act in your best interest, and then they create laws and do whatever the government stuff that they do. Wait 1 second. Right, that's how it works. That's how the government works. You elect. I hate this cup so much right now. I'm just gonna get an actual green cup. You know what? No, I'm gonna finish my thought first. I'm never gonna remember where I went off to. You elect people in the government. That doesn't give you direct, exact control over what those government people do. Right? Just because you pay taxes doesn't mean that you get to tell police officers where to park their patrol cars, right? You want to park in a street parking lawfully? No, you have to park in a tree. I pay my taxes, therefore I can tell you to park in a tree. And then you have to do it. That's not how that works. Okay. Yeah, so just because the people created the government does not mean that you as an individual have complete control over it, right? Sovereign citizens do not outnumber the rest of the American population. There are, I think, 300 million people who have been... In 2010, the FBI estimated about 300... Is it 300,000? No, it's got to be 300,000. Yeah, 300,000, sorry. 300,000 sovereign citizens. There are 380 million Americans. So that's a pretty small percentage. Now, Nomadic Wanderer is saying, interesting fact, the AT&T data center also was the home of the central servers for Dominion voting machines. Where the voting machines even have central servers. They were the central servers for the company. I don't know about the machines themselves. The company full name is Dominion Voting Machines. The AT&T data center in Nashville is where they are housed. Huh. That I did not know. Interesting. I'm going to look into that. Hold on. I'm getting a different cup. This one's useless. I'm going to get a greener cup. No. Yellow. That should be right there. Cup test. That'll work. Alright. And we try not to spill water over myself. Whoa. Oh, no, I did. Magic. It almost works. Works a little better. Anyway. So, yeah, based on that, I'd believe that it was targeted because Dominion voting machines. I'm not saying that Dominion voting machines deserve to be targeted, but some people certainly do. It is quite the coincidence. Huh. All right. Moving on. I have my water. Where's my mouse? There it is. Shkablamo. All right. So yeah, he's just... This guy is dangerously wrong. Obviously, he believes a lot of things aren't true. Anyway. Then Willem Flattery goes, public is not a commercial term. Freedom of movement is a common basic right. You cannot convert my rights into a crime. You cannot convert my damn rights into a license. Damn, that damn has an N on it. You've just referred to, like, something. Anyway. So, freedom of movement is a basic right, sure. The manner in which you move is not. Right? Are you allowed to fly a plane wherever you want? No. You generally have to have a license. Well, that's actually not true. There's some planes you can fly in unrestricted airspace. But in restricted airspace, you do need to have a license. Think of public roadways as that restricted airspace. And just swap out plane for car. It's essentially the same concept. And I explain that. I say, you have the right to travel. You do not have a right to drive. Perhaps try walking or taking a bus. You're still traveling. Again, the government does not have to allow you to have the most convenient form of travel. And Willem Flattery comes back with, the right to travel was insured, wrong insured, by the way, back in 1215 of the Magna Carta in Article 42. First of all, the Magna Carta is not American law. We don't use the Magna Carta. It formed basically British law and territories of Britain, or former territories of Britain, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, I believe. Their law is still based on very, very much on British law. I could be wrong about that. I'm probably wrong about that. But the Magna Carta is somewhat relevant to them. It's not very relevant to us. So let's look up Article 42 Magna Carta. In future, it shall be lawful for any man to leave and return to our kingdom unharmed, without fear, by land or water, preserving his allegiance to us, except in times of war for a short period. Okay, so it basically says you have the right to leave the kingdom, not to travel within it, which is what the right to travel is primarily about in the context of sovereign citizens, right? It's about the right to egress, ingress, travel through, whatever. That just says, if you leave our kingdom, we'll let you back, unless we're in wartime. So not at all relevant. Want proof they're all nuts, constantly losing their minds? One word: chemtrails. Yes, chemtrails. I had this theory I wanted to spread just for my own amusement, but then I saw how dangerous spreading theories were, or can get. And this is all me. It's that milk protects you from chemtrails. What? That seems too strange to be true. Well, think of it, children, right? Growing up, around the age of 18, they think they know everything. I can confirm. Around 18, I thought I had it all figured out, and then I didn't. Right? Until I was early 20s, I drank a lot of milk. I love milk. Milk is delicious. But as you get older, you tend to develop a lactose intolerance. Right? And once you hit your early 20s and upwards, you start to realize, I don't know everything. Things are very complicated. Oh, no. Right? And so I was going to promote the theory that drinking milk protects against chemtrails. And you can prove this by, once you develop a lactose intolerance, you also start to realize the world is very, very complicated. Therefore, the chemtrails keep you in a state of, everything makes sense and is great. And it was a whole thing. I thought it would be really, really fun. And then I saw, no, people are actually insane. And I don't know. Maybe if I had some friends that like milk farmers, I'd promote it just to boost their sales. I don't know. I love it. I think it's fun. I think that's a great little theory. I've never written down somewhere fully thought out. But no, we're not gonna. What was that? We're not gonna. Anyway. So, all rights reserved. Freeman says, you don't have to argue with me. I'm pro-freedom, homie. And so they're going back and forth. It's very weird. Let's focus on the sheep down to the reasons that we have any licenses at all. You are the sheep. You are the sheep. You two. You're being told things are not true, and you're believing it and following it because you want to, and you deny facts. It's great. William Flattery says, I'm not a drivers, because a drivers is one employed, as read in the legal dictionary. I'm a traveler, which, are both two different meaning. Good God, dude. This guy, I think, is 26. I found his Facebook profile. He's old enough to know better than typing like this. I'm not going to, I don't generally call people out. That's not true. I'll ignore a lot. But, come on, guy. So, again, we've already discussed the legal dictionary thing about Black's Law and whatever, and how it's not what they think it is. Employee has two different meanings. You're a traveler. Cool. You can be a traveler. But if you're operating the motor vehicle, you're now a driver as well. Congratulations. I can see all you follow Nazi Germany laws that violate people God-giving right. No, these are American laws, and they were established by American politicians who were elected into office by the American people. If you do not like the laws, petition the government for redress of grievances. It's a First Amendment right that you have. Go, ask them to change it, but they're probably not going to do it, because most people disagree with you. God-given right. God never said you have the right to drive a motor vehicle. I don't remember God ever saying that. Or I don't remember reading God saying that. You know what I do remember reading? Romans 13, which says that you should accept, basically... Well, let me look it up. I don't want to misquote it. Romans 13. This is my favorite. Whenever they bring up God or the Bible or whatever, this is my favorite. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. Basically saying, like, look, respect your government because they're there by God's will. Now, there are a lot of claims that, oh, well, this wasn't actually a Bible text. It was added by, after the fact to try to get people to be complacent. But then, if you're going to establish that, you could argue that the entire Bible was written to keep people complacent. And like what's real, what isn't. That becomes a whole theological discussion that they are not capable generally of having. I do not believe William Flattery is capable of having a legitimate theological discussion about what is or is not, the original Bible, whatever. William Flattery says, Declaration, we the people by the mercy of grace and God are ordained with certain unalienable rights, among them the right to form and exercise this 25-people grand jury in the spirit of the Magna Carta, and our founding fathers, and in obedience to God for this country on behalf of the people, having recorded our authority with the county clerk. Like, this is nonsense. Like, I declare myself the president of the universe. It doesn't mean anything, right? The right to form and exercise a 25-people grand jury in the spirit, not the right guaranteed by the Constitution, but the right to form it in the spirit of the Magna Carta and the founding fathers. That you're not granted the right to do that. You're just making up. Well, they did it. They fought an entire war to do it, so we're gonna do it too. You fight an entire war? Sure hope you don't. I don't want that. But like, there's a huge difference between what happened after the Revolutionary War and what you're trying to do now. Anyway, and then he cites so that we can perish in the presence of God, which allows me to cite back to him Romans 13. I'm pretty sure I did that later. Alt-right comes back. He says nothing interesting. William Flattery says, where in the bill have right does it say the government can convert my right into a license to charge a fee? Where in the damn bill of right does it say that cause it does not give the government the right to convert into a privilege? He basically spams a bunch of stuff. That's his thing. He doesn't want to know the answer. He'll ask a question. He doesn't want to know. He doesn't care. He's an idiot. I will firmly put that there. He is an absolute idiot. He can change. I believe in you, Willem. But at the moment, you're a real idiot. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to spread the truth like a wildfire. I was born with God's truth, says Willem. Okay, I think you were born with a... well, that would be mean if I said it. I think you were born into a family that did not properly educate you. That's what I think. But what do I know? And then they talk between themselves and pat themselves on the back and lube each other up. And we're going to skip all that. All right, William Flattery says, I have all of the Black's Law Dictionary 3 edition and 5th edition. There are 11 editions, so you don't have all of them. Wrong which, state a driver is one employed by his employer or employed by his car when money is earned. Now, I want to remind you, these are the people that accuse me of not being able to read case law. Like, you don't know how to read. You interpret it correctly. Bro, you don't even know how to spell. But okay, surely I guess you know the difference between private and public. The people built the roads, not the government. I responded to this and said, no, the government built the roads. But okay. And so he just spams all this stuff. And, all right, a public road, a roadway existing for the free and unrestricted use for all common people is a public road. Yeah, you walk down it, man. Let's see what Herringer versus Peary says about the right to restrict anything. Herringer versus Peary, if that quote even exists. All right, unrestricted is going to be what we're looking for. All right. Whether a road sought to be established as a public road or one merely for the benefit of private individuals is not tested by the fact that such individuals receive a greater benefit than the public generally. The test is not simply how many actually use the road, but how many have a free and unrestricted right in common to use it. And that's not unrestricted use, that's unrestricted ability to utilize it, right? If it's a public road, everyone gets to use it. The manner in which it is used can be restricted. This is something that sovereign citizens do not understand. Is yes, you have the right to use this road, but not however you want. You can't do like cartwheels down the center of it for a mile, blocking, both ways of traffic. You cannot do that. You will get arrested. Yeah. Elliot on roads in the street, section 192. It's a thing. So again, like, they're taking things way out of context. This guy who can barely type thinks that he can interpret this. It's fine. Operating motor vehicles, Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, 1969, exercising control over the vehicle, although not at the time. Not at the time in the driver's seat. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, he's definitely wrong about that one. I don't have Valentine's Law Dictionary, unfortunately. I'm sure he does not either. Bouvier's Law Dictionary, 1856. Commerce, trade, sale, or exchange of merchandise, bills, money, and the like. What is commerce? Oh, traffic. Yes, to traffic. So traffic is another word that has two meanings. It can mean traffic as in vehicle traffic, or traffic as in to commerce, trade, sale, or exchange merchandise, bills, money, and the like. There are two. Yeah, I do need an anger interpreter. Um, let's look up traffic, the definition of which, of it. Okay, well, okay. Usually, never mind. I can't spell either, but at least I know it. All right. So there are a bunch of meanings for trafficking. Vehicles moving on a road or public highway. It's one meaning of traffic. The second meaning is the messages or signals transmitted through a communication system, or if it's used as a verb, deal or trade in something illegal. Right? Oh my God, it's a noun. It could be a verb. There are multiple meanings. We have three right here. There's probably more. So he doesn't understand this. And then he goes, this is my favorite part, by the way. And look, he shared this publicly. So this is not doxing. But he gives me a ticket. Here's proof I won the right to travel without a driver's license. Ticket number, and then ticket number. Law Enforcement Agency, Los Angeles Police Department. His name, Willem Ramey Flattery. Hey, he put it out there, all right? In the courthouse, the violation date, and then a bunch of dismissed after hearing, dismissed after hearing, dismissed after hearing. Let me tell you what this doesn't do. Definition of traffic, Los Angeles, California. This doesn't tell me what he was ticketed for. It doesn't tell me what was dismissed. It tells me nothing. All this tells me is that he had a ticket for who knows what, and that was dismissed on this date. I can't look this up. I have to have a birthday or a driver's license to check this myself. He would not provide it to me, which is probably a smart move on his part. But also, what is he hiding? No, I can't, because obviously, no, don't give that personal information. You shouldn't have even done this. Right? Like, give the actual documents and redact your name from it. And then there's more. American people built the road, not the government, because the government was created by an act of people, not government. And then he says, here's proof I run the right to travel without a driver's license. And this is where he just starts repeating himself. Again, doesn't tell me what was dismissed. I go, congratulations. That doesn't establish a right to drive without a license. All that tells me is exactly what I told you guys, right? And I sort of explained to him a whole bunch of stuff. Public roads were built by the government. The Supreme Court has ruled that traffic laws, such as the requirement for a license to drive, can be enforced on these roads by the state police power in the interest of public safety. The definition from Valentine's Law Dictionary, whatever. All right. I'm just continuously reminding them, you don't have to be for hire to be required to have a license. Because again, I'm trying to sort of bait them into giving me more information. All right. And he goes, I'm a driver for hire. I'm not a driver for hire. I'm a traveler. My automobile is not a motor vehicle engaged in business or undertaking where money is earned. You do not have the authority to boss me or dictate me. No, I'm not bossing or dictating anything to you like a slave. I'm telling you how the law works. You are wrong. If you are the person in charge of your if you're in the driver's seat, your foot's on the pedal or the brake, and you have your hands on the steering wheel, you're a driver in a motor vehicle. You don't get to decide, it's an automobile, not a motor vehicle, because you looked at 18 U.S.C. 31, which is not relevant to what you're trying to talk about because it deals with interstate commerce, right? And Willem Flattery says, case number, okay, he's bringing case law again, Chicago Motor Coach. Again, remember, though this right may be regulated in accordance with the public interest and convenience. We've already talked about that one. So he's still putting out stuff that I've already established. Like, no, that's incorrect. There was any judge who does not comply with his oath to the Constitution of the United States, wars against that Constitution, and engaged in acts in violation of the supreme law of the land. This judge is engaged in acts of treason. Cooper versus Aaron. I don't know the context of that. You know what? Let's find out. Cooper versus Aaron. I want to say if it actually says this: the judge is engaged in acts of treason. This is a common one with sovereign citizens, because this is like, oh, I have the right to shoot you because it's treason if you are wrong. Even though you're right, I'm wrong, but I won't admit it. Let me see. Get rid of that one. Oh, I don't have this. Hold on. I keep forgetting I can do this. I've just set that up. I haven't. This is the first time. All right. Acts of treason. Where's the full case? View case. Where do you of acts of treason isn't even the case. If this is the correct case, Cooper versus Aaron 358. Yeah, so acts of treason. Any judge who is not complying. Let's try that. Yeah, okay. So Cooper versus Aaron doesn't even have this. Fun fact. This is one of those quotes that does not exist. You know? Anyone confused about that? So I go, all right, Freeman, have fun in jail. And William Flattery, this is my favorite. So he submitted in court an affidavit of reservation of rights. He goes, let it be known to all that I, William Ramey Flattery, that's too nice of a voice for him, explicitly reserve all my rights. See UCC, Uniform Code of Commerce, which that's not how that works, but okay. 1-308, which is formerly UCC 1-207, subsection 1, I don't know. Performance works out. He basically has an affidavit that he's a United States citizen or a 14th Amendment citizen, that violations of his liberty are $250,000 per incident or per 15 minutes. That's not legally binding, okay? I can submit an affidavit saying everyone in the world owes me $1 million and they all shall be put to death if they don't pay me within 1 hour. I can submit that affidavit. It is meaningless. This is just something he signed. And he's like, look, it was notarized. A notary has so much power. We'll get to that, though. A public notary is more powerful than law enforcement. Yes, when notarizing things, they do have more authority than law enforcement. But not when arresting someone, for example. The example I used with him was a cashier could have more power than the President of the United States. The President of the United States comes into a shop, and the cashier is like, wow, you're antagonizing my customers. The president's just screaming at the top of his lungs. Any president, one that hasn't existed. I'm not referencing anyone in particular. If a president comes in and just starts screaming, that cashier can say, you need to leave this store. I don't care who you are. Get out. Your trespass is private property. And in that moment, they have more authority. They have more power than the President of the United States. However, that cashier doesn't have access to the nuclear football, can't launch those nukes at other countries. So it's really who has more power for what specific thing. Right? Wait, what? The right to shoot? Oh. I have no idea what's happening in my comments. Anyway, so he has this idea, like, oh, it was notarized, therefore it's official. Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't mean anything. I can have anything notarized. It just confirms that I did it, basically. And I give him that example. The judges are legislative courts administrating policy. That's not law. Okay, so case law is still law. There's case law and there's legislative law. This is meaningless. He goes, it's so clueless, it's painful. All rights, it is painful how clueless you are. It is. You have no desire to learn. If you had a thirst for actual truth instead of arguments, you'd get somewhere. No, you're literally describing yourself. That's okay. And I say, oh, sure, bud. Have fun in jail. Because there's no point in arguing this. He's made it clear he's not willing to be like, oh, interesting. Let me look into that. So I go, okay, have fun in jail. And William Flattery says they dismissed everything because they know I was right, and I had a lawyer who knows the truth and helped me won my case. Is a waste of taxpayer money stoping people without a license when they are following the safety rules of the rule, like stop signs, stop lights, etc. Okay, bud. No. It's still like, where's the evidence, right? It was case dismissed. Dismission, no registered, unregistered vehicle, no insurance, probably no driver's license. I don't know. And he just keeps repeating the same thing and posting it. So, okay. Now, I could have made that up too, right? This is not evidence. This is, okay, worth looking into. And I searched this. I was not able to actually find it, but that's because I didn't have access to all the information I needed to find it. I paid probably $10 worth of background searches on William Flattery in California. And there was nothing that I could find, for Los Angeles at least. So I don't know what all this is, but I need more information than that. Then he just starts repeating the affidavit again. Like, okay, cool. And he goes, money is the root of all evil. I do not worship money like a god. So I call him out and I go, bro, you just asked for $250,000 if your rights were supposedly violated. Or for you value your time at $250,000 for 15 minutes. And you don't worship money? Okay. Sure. And he goes, violation fee of my liberty, 250,000 per incident. I'm like, okay, so you must have filed a lawsuit, right? Because you were ticketed for not having a registration and all these things. That must be a violation of your rights. And he basically said, no, I haven't done that. No. Okay, well, so here's what I think. I think he got those tickets. I think he went to court and said, no, actually, my vehicle is registered. I put it up. I was trying to fight this thing. I don't believe it as strongly as I pretend to. So, yes, I have all this stuff. Can we dismiss it? Right? And the judge went, yeah, okay. And he goes, wait. I want to file this affidavit just so I can. Okay. Right? That's what I think happened. Is they're like, you're going to go to jail, dude. Or maybe just pay a lot of fines. You went, I actually have it. I have a license. I have all this stuff. I'm so sorry. Like, here it is. I didn't mean it. I was just trying to be cool on the internet. That's what I think happened. But he keeps going, right? If men through fear, fraud, or mistake shall, like, yeah, okay, Samuel Adams, our great president. He which president was he? List of presidents. All right, let's keep going backwards. He wasn't. Sam Adams, John Adams was a president. Sam Adams was not. I didn't want to be like, that's not a president, because, like, if I'm wrong, it looks bad. Hey, bud, Sam Adams isn't a president. These are people who are like, yeah, we fact check. Oh, yeah, we know what we're talking about. You don't even... All right, and they just starts quoting things that... All right, so men are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is secure. Not grant or create these rights, government or institute the property which man has honestly acquired. He retains full control. This is basically like, look, the government can't take away your house, your property, your whatever, without due compensation. This is not related. This is more of I forgot the word for it. This is not a driver's argument. But versus people who stayed in New York. That's not what that is. But well done, you. He goes, there should be no arbitrary deprivation of life or liberty or arbitrary spoliation of property. Okay, yeah, there should be no arbitrary deprivation. But requiring people to be licensed is not arbitrary. Is a vehicle always a motor vehicle? Argument. Federal motor vehicle means every description. All right, so 18 U.S.C. 31 brings that up again, even though, like, multiple times in this comment section, I believe I've basically established why it's not correct. A carriage is peculiarly a family or household article. It contributes in a large degree to the health, convenience, comfort, and welfare of the household of the family. Pretty sure Arthur versus Morgan, they were discussing shipping a carriage. It was basically the transport of a carriage, not driven, but like actually shipped from place to place. And then he references the same Supreme Court case. Is that a Supreme Court case? Because so often they're not. Oh, it is, yeah. So, 1884. Yeah, it was about taxing the shipping of a carriage from, like, somewhere to somewhere. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's not about driving. They're wrong. The use of to which an item physical consumer goods. Again, this is not about drivers. And I explained that to him. And then he goes, UCC 9-109, there's a real distinction between goods purchased for personal use and those purchased for business use. Again, that's not, we're not talking about the Uniform Commercial Code. Nomadic Wanderer, you are correct. Samuel Adams was, of course, one of the founding fathers, and a pretty okay beer, if you're looking for nothing too special. But no, he was never president. That's what I thought. I just didn't want to be like, calling him out and then find out, oh, there's a president I don't remember. Oh, interesting. And he's going over household goods. That's not, has nothing to do with drivers. Automobiles classified as vehicles. Household goods do not include automobiles used by the testator who was a practicing physician. That was that even relevant to? All household goods owned by the user thereof and used solely for non-commercial purposes shall be exempt from taxation. Okay, so he has this saying, household goods shall be exempt from taxation. But household goods did not include automobiles. right? Like, he's not even reading the things. I'm sure he has a list somewhere. He's just pasting them. Like, I don't even know if I've ever had a Boston Lager. I have no idea. But they're still around, so I'm sure I've had one. Automobile purchased for the purpose of transporting buyer to and from his place of employment was consumer goods. Yeah, it was purchased as consumer goods. It's not driven as consumer goods. Like, these consumer good ones are just so strange. They're not. If you look at the context of it, let's look at the context of it. Malicote versus volunteer. I'm sure it's about, like, taxing. I'm almost certain it's like, well, this is how it needs to be taxed. Also, it's a Tennessee Court of Appeals. All right, in 1964, they purchased the car for $600. After paying one installment, they refused to make additional payments, claiming the car was defective, not as represented. Surrendered it to Volunteer Finance Company. Obviously, you should read these more in depth, but it's a live stream, so I can't. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. Is not contended the property here involved was perishable or of a type customarily sold on a recognized market. There's no proof that Malicote was in a business requiring the use of an automobile. Yeah, the requirement that the property be disposed of in a commercially reasonable manner seems to us to signify that the disposition shall be made in keeping with prevailing trade practices among reputable and responsible businesses. Yeah, this is about selling vehicles, not driving them. Yeah, it's so should not apply unless I'm missing something. Again, bringing up UCC, something that is not relevant to a private driver. Household goods probably has to do with shipping or purchasing a vehicle. The expression personal effects clearly includes an automobile. Again, probably about shipping. You know what? Oh, this is someone's will. He probably said, "Oh, all my personal effects will go to my great niece," and then there was a lawsuit being like, "Hey, personal effects must also mean automobile." So come on, guys. That's great knowledge of Windows Notepad. Thematic says Brown versus Board of Education can be cited for driver's licenses. Yeah, by their logic, yeah. Use defines classification. Private automobiles is not required to be registered by law. Commerce for profit. California Vehicle Code. All right, so California. Okay, this one's great. So Section 260 says a vehicle not used for commercial activities, a consumer good, is. Does it say that? Let me see. California. And the reason we're using California Vehicle Code is because the original video is out of California, I assume, or they just don't know that different things have different things. All right. So 260 words and phrases defined. 260. Commercial vehicle is a motor vehicle of a type required to be registered under this code. So, check this out. Okay. So they start with a commercial vehicle as a type. Required to be registered. Okay. Used or maintained for the transportation of person for hire, compensation, profit, whatever. The definition of the commercial vehicle is not applied to Chapter 7. A van pool vehicle is not whatever. This just says that if it's a commercial vehicle, it still has to be registered. If we go back to here and we look at registrations of vehicles and certificate of title, vehicles subject to registration, a person shall not drive, move, or lease standing upon a highway or in an off-street public parking facility any motor vehicle, trailer, semi-trailer, pole, or pipe dolly, or logging dolly unless it is registered and the appropriate fees have been paid. So this says all vehicles must be registered. 260 just says, hey, this definition of commercial vehicles, they also had to be registered. So citing the California code there, no, that establishes that you're wrong. And I basically, I'm trying to get him to give me his birthday. I'm kind of glad he didn't, because the potential for abuse. I wouldn't abuse it, but the potential for abuse is there. And I wouldn't want him to be that dumb. It would have made my job easier trying to find these tickets, though. The right to travel is part of a liberty which the citizens, again, yeah, you have the right to travel. You do not have the right to drive. Oh, I said it right there. Look at that. Constitutional law, section 101, right to travel. Okay, yeah, I'm probably not. And I keep reminding them that, like, hey, guys, the power to tax involves the power to destroy. McCullough versus Maryland. What? I'm not sure how that factors in. Again, you do not have a right to drive, says I. U.S. adopted common laws of England with the Constitution. Yeah, some of them. Not all of them. They don't want to be like, look, guys, it's 1783. We've just ended the War of Independence. There is no case law. Nope. Every statute has to be done as written. All the things you've been used to for the last 40 years? Nope. Sucks to be you. So, that's probably an earlier case. Caldwell versus Hill. What year was that? That's got to be late 1700s, maybe? Because a lot of them that reference that are generally late 1700s, early 1800s. Oh, it's 1900. Really? Am I in the right one? Oh, it says it right there. I'm a dingus. All right. Oh, I guess not. So, it probably references other cases that are older. Yeah, common laws were adopted. The common law was never... Look, 1783, the War of Independence ended. There was a peace treaty. I believe it's 83. There were no cars. There was no case law from the common laws of England about cars. They did not exist until the very late 1800s, if I remember correctly. They did not go into mass production until the early 1900s. There is no reason to think that the common laws of England would apply to vehicles. They did not exist. Anyway. Only the hater of America will say that what I learned is a lie. No, I think someone who knows what they're talking about is going to say what you learned is a lie. We got to read this because it's nonsense. When in fact is nothing more than truth, God's law is supreme over all laws. God's law is the law of the land, not made up laws by the devil violating people's freedom and murdering people for exercising their right to me. America is now a Nazi Germany-like era. No. So they go. Basically, once they get to this argument, you know you've won. Because they're like, look, laws don't count. No laws apply. Because God allows me to do things. Like, what does he allow you to do? Does it say anything about a car in the Bible? No. Basically, at that point, if they're saying that the laws don't apply because they have God-given rights, they're essentially establishing that none of their arguments matter. Right? Why would you even bring up the commercial code? Why would you even bring up really anything? Right? It doesn't matter what your argument is, what the law is, what the counter argument is, what allows you to do it. God allows you to do it. Why would you bring up the Uniform Commercial Code? If they're referencing this, their tank is out of gas. I'm out of gas. Anyway, see, late 1880s. Mercedes-Benz Benz built the first car in 1885. Blammo. Anyway, I mean, and he just starts repeating himself. It goes on and on. Oh, this is great. The harassment of my fellow citizens. Wait, no, sorry. This. He cites Fam Guardian as like, okay, and he deleted it and put it back there. This is probably one of the sources he's getting it from. Yeah, this is one of his sources that he's just copying and pasting from. Most of this is going to be wrong. Right? Like, bro. Most of that's going to be wrong. First steam-powered private vehicle was created in 1769. 1803, the first car powered by the Rivas engine, fueled by hydrogen. That's fascinating. That I did not know. But I imagine there weren't many of them, right? Licensing didn't start being required until vehicles were available to like everyone, or they became very, very publicly available. Licensing started in the early 1903, 1905, somewhere around there, in the United States, and then it wasn't until like 1915, 1918, that all states required it. Not all states issued them, but all states required a license to drive a vehicle. Right? Well, I mean, all states that existed at the time, like Hawaii and Alaska, obviously didn't come until later. But yeah, it's they weren't once they became like very prevalent on the roadway. Laws needed to be created to keep people safe because they were dangerous. People were dying. And I'm not saying they die like at a greater rate or a lesser rate than they do now. It's just that lawmakers are like, oh, this could be a problem. We should make sure people know how to operate these vehicles, which are pretty complicated at the moment. They still are complicated. You know, there are a lot of things that make it easier, but I mean, they're complicated bits of machinery. Then it gives me a YouTube link, which I didn't watch because obviously it's just, you know what? Let's look. It's probably just gonna be more of the same nonsense, right? Like, I'm not gonna. Oh. Oh, this is an affidavit. Why is it age restricted? Yeah, no, like I don't care about your affidavit. Not at all. Oh, this is him. Oh, bro. Oh no no no. Are you guys? This is the guy. This is the guy who thinks he knows. Oh, honey, no. Nope. I have to sign. Oh no. Okay. I'm so sorry, man. I'm gonna. I'm sorry. I'm gonna find you what I found as his what I believe to be. Oh, gee, no. His Facebook profile. Just to compare. I mean, he's already given us his name and his location. He put that out there. I'm not gonna give you anything other than that. Um, Let me see. So obviously, a member of Anonymous or whatever. This is, yeah, I think that's him. I can't see it, but um, don't do this to me, Facebook. I don't want to log in. Yeah, everything that he said on in the comment sections here, uh, bro. He owns 2020 Freedom Store, which zero people like. I'm not surprised. I'm not trying to bash this dude. Like, I want him to sort of get a wake up call. You know, I want it to be a wake up call for this guy. Like, no, guy, no. Anyway, and then he just starts spamming stuff. Oh, Willem confirms nationallibertyalliance.org is where he gets most of his information. I'm a member of National Liberty Alliance. I joined on one of the streams. I still get their emails. It is absolute nonsense. It is horrifying, some of the things that they come up with. And, like, I'm not saying, like, they're planning things, but just knowing that there are people out there that believe this, it's just wow. Yeah, their stuff, not correct. Fun fact. If you're getting information from National Liberty Alliance, you are not getting good information. And he just goes on, and he says he has diplomatic immunity, which is not true. And one of the things I want to say to sovereign citizens, you claim, oh, well, you know, I'm not a citizen, therefore laws don't apply to me. Hey, guess what? If someone from Canada comes down here and they're not a citizen of the United States, the laws still apply to them. Fun fact. I don't know if anyone's ever been able to logic that one out to me. When I say, hey, sovereign citizen, if you were from another country and you came here, you still have to abide by the laws. If I went to Germany, I'd still have to, you know, yield to people who are on arterial roads, and they have fun. Their roadways are fun. The Autobahn's a lot of fun. Not all of it is no speed limit. A lot of it does have a speed limit, but there are parts where it's like, oh okay. Pothead Rogaine McCreepy. Now, that's why, yeah, you're right, Leroy. YouTube has gone with the privacy claims and bullying strikes. I'm not bullying this guy. He gave me his information. I'm just looking at it. And if YouTube wants me to take this, if there's a privacy strike, I'll take it down. But, cool. I'm not trying to insult him. I'm just disappointed in him, in the way that he's lived his life. All lives matter except the government life who violate our or God-giving right the police are a gang member. Very well articulated. Also incorrect, but very nice. Yeah, so do you have his birth certificate? They own you too. That's not how that works, but good job, you. A few of us figured out by the grace of God. More like through the sputtering of idiocy. And they're only wanting to charge some bogus bonds. They are hiding to your. I can't even read it. I'm losing my mind. It's just it's dripping down my ears. My brain's liquidized. It's a whole thing. So, a person is legal fiction. You are a living soul. Oh, he's too far gone. A living soul is not a person. More semantics. That's not how that works. I'm not like this is where he just starts posting nonsense over and over and over, and I'm like trying to get a word in. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we're done. I don't know where this ends. I probably stopped like looking at like here. Oh, he uses Black's Law, 4th edition. Like okay. I'm not gonna comment because I'm done with this guy. He's never gonna read the comments. Just gonna keep posting nonsense. Black's Law is in its 11th edition. Try using that one. I'd invite him to be on this live stream, by the way. He would not respond to it. Smart move on his part. I would have loved that. Yeah, the banker's revenge, assassination, Lincoln's complete thwarting of the international bankers' plans. Yeah, now he's just posting nonsense. You know what? I will reply. Nope, I won't, because I forgot I'm not logged in. Whatever. Anyway, that's the end of the comments for the most part. It's a thing. So, yeah, that was that. If you're a sovereign citizen watching this, I hope you learned something. You probably didn't. It's a thing, man. And I'm going to be going over this in more detail. I'm going to be covering sovereign citizens interacting with law enforcement, doing reaction videos. This is just me fooling around with this guy, being like, "Oh no, you poor sweet summer child, you are so wrong." Maybe look, Willem. Maybe if you smoked a little less weed and applied yourself more in school, like you can go back. You can go back to high school. If you've dropped out, you can go back and get your GED. I encourage you to do that because there's no way you made it all the way through high school. And if you did, well, we should put you on a pedestal for the discussion of better funding for high schools. Really, that's what we should do. I would vote for that. If you were the example of this is what happens when we don't give money to schools to educate the children. I'm not trying to bully you. I'm just saying. Better yourself, dude. Get away from National Liberty Lines. They will not help you. You will only end up arrested. You'll end up in a lot of trouble. Tax fraud is no joke. It's a thing. Anyway, what are your questions, guys? That's all I have for this. I just wanted to go through that and be like, are you kidding me? Someone else needs to see this as well. Oh, this is the guy, by the way, that was like, I have friends in the government who confirmed I was right. Like, cool. I used to be the government. Not the government, but a member of it. And I can assure you that no, they did not say you were right. Mm-mm. So, but being the government means that I'm wrong, just simply by being the government. It's like, I get a lot of, oh, you were a police officer, so you don't know anything. Well, do you go into a hospital and say, oh, you're a surgeon? You don't know how to do anything. Like, do you go to the hospital and say, I want a surgeon that didn't go to medical school? Probably not, right? That's not that's not how it works. I know a thing or two about this. I used to enforce a lot of these laws. But this idea that, oh, I'm a member of the government, therefore I don't know what I'm talking about, then your friends obviously can't be trusted because they're also members of the government. So they must also not know what they're talking about, right? Oh, but it only makes sense, it only counts if it's what you think is right. Not what everyone else is saying, but what these people, if they even exist, are saying. Rennie, tell me your question. As a balding creeper, he gives us all a bad name. Amazing. Hey, I appreciate you and your balding creeperness. And I would love to work. Look, I'm not saying like, oh, Willem Flattery, you're dead to me. I want to work with you. I want to help you out. Same with DeWitt, right? I reached out to DeWitt, be like, hey, look, I strongly disagree with what you're doing because it's illegal. I want to help you understand what the law is so you can do this legally, right? Same with Willem. Same with all of these people. If you want information, I have information. I can help you. Might not be what you want to hear, but I can help you. Gary, you are correct. Once you disprove part of their theory, they come up with a reason why it's not. So, for example, you say, well, look, here's how the law is. They go, well, I interpret the law differently than you. And I go, oh, goodness. Where's my camera? All right, well, hold on. Let me do this. Blammo! While I fix my camera. Got a little too excited, I guess. Nope. That'll probably work. Why not? Let's find out. Boop. All right. Oh yeah, that works great. So, yeah, you come up, you're like, look, that you're not interpreting this law correctly. And they go, yes, I am. They go, well, no, the courts have here's the ruling. They've actually stated specifically, no, you are wrong. And they're like, oh shoot, yeah, the courts have said that. How do we establish that the courts are wrong? Oh, the courts are kangaroo courts because why are the courts wrong? That the flag has gold fringe, but why would that be important? Something about admiralty law, the law of the flag. Oh, well, that doesn't apply here. It doesn't matter. This courtroom is it's a vessel. It's a vessel on water, symbolically, and that flag is not the American flag. It represents a different second constitution. There isn't a second constitution. There's a second secret constitution. Washington D.C. in the 1800s, there was an act that established that D.C. was the landmass of it. That one, I'll never read it, but it probably is in there. It goes to establish all these things. You have to create this incredibly weird fictional reality, right? It goes down this rabbit hole. Moors are actually often a little more sane. I know they have the hats and whatever. They use a lot of sovereign citizen arguments, but their arguments generally come down to not, I have a God-given right to do this. The entire world is acting against me. It's more, well, I'm actually the original Aboriginal occupant of this country, and therefore it is mine because I never engaged in contract with you. And in ways, it kind of makes more sense. Like, it's still absolutely wrong. That's not how that works. I can't go to a look. No, I'm not going to use that example. It's not a good example. Anyway, no, that's not how it works. The Moors, there is no real evidence that the Moors were the original occupants of the United States. Even if they weren't, the United States kind of took the land by force, and now it's theirs. That's sort of I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that was the right thing to do. I'm saying that historically that's how it's been done. Every country in the world was taken by force, more or less. If you want to fight for it, take your country back. I don't want you to. That is an option. You will lose. And there goes my camera. I don't have... My camera's not on a tripod, so there are a lot of issues right now with various things. It's fine. I'm not in the studio yet, so I don't have everything set up. I've moved a lot of stuff over there. It's a whole thing. So, anyway, so Gary says, as long as they don't hurt anyone, let them think what they want, pay as many fines as they have in order to pay for their beliefs. Yes, as long as they don't hurt anyone. The problem is, if they were like, I live in a 200-acre plot of land, I don't interact with anyone, cool, I believe these things. Yeah, okay, believe those things. Right? But when you start teaching other people that the government is wrong and needs to be punished because you are interpreting laws in a certain way that's weird and incorrect, that's where it becomes an issue. That's where the terrorism happens. There have been terrorist acts committed by sovereign citizens. Yes. The Oklahoma City bombing is attributed to, in part, to teachings of sovereign citizens, of the Church of Jesus Christ Christian, which is where sovereign citizenship began in the 70s. Right? A lot of sovereign citizens like, you can't call me sovereign citizens. That's a slur. Like, no, that's literally what it was called when it was created. That was its original name. You might call yourself a constitutionalist to make the same arguments. Okay, fine, you're a constitutionalist. I might still call you a sovereign citizen. People don't necessarily like being called sovereign citizen because the Church of Jesus Christ Christian was a white supremacy church. They also created one of the top, I want to say top, the most influential neo-Nazi groups out there in America, right? Like, this is not a good church. Oh, James, hey, thank you, $2. Yes, that's gonna buy a cable that I need. Actually, it's very useful. I appreciate that. Yeah. Sean says the problem with them is they try and sometimes get into politics, and the goal is to overthrow the government. Yes, he cited to me 2 different people within the government, like it's state government. And they were like, hey, I've reviewed this thing, and I think you have a right to drive. They do get into local government. Some places are more receptive to their ideas than others. A letter to a judge from a senator, even, saying, I think there should be a right to drive based on these facts, is meaningless. Just a letter. The response from the judge is what's important. But we never see the response from the judge, do we? Probably because the judge is like, no. Gary says there will always be people who go to the Ruby Ridge lengths. However, it's ultimately the government's job to rein them in. The problem is how they respond to the government's attempts to do that. Ruby Ridge, there was a build-up to that incident. That wasn't like it just started randomly. The government did try to rein them in. And they went, okay, well, we're going to get guns to stop that from happening. Joe Collins. That name sounds familiar. I think that's a guy I looked into. An amicus brief is just a brief. The law is the law. That sounds right. When it comes to actual, like, legal filings and whatever, that's where my knowledge sort of peters out. I'm trying to better that. But, yeah. Anyway, that was my little sovereign citizen rant. I'm going to link this to Willem and be like, hey, bud, just so you know, this exists. And he'll probably complain a bunch. Next time you see me, I'm hoping to be in the new studio with good lighting. This lighting is not good. I have to do a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm like all grainy. Well, it's okay. I'll have a desk that I'll be sitting behind. I'll have lights. I'll have a camera on a tripod. My green screen's gonna be like not touching me. Like so problems with the green screen are mostly because I don't have the room to be far away from it. Generally, with a green screen, you want to be like 6 to 10 feet away so that there isn't like backsplash. Let me see if I can make it happen. Yeah, you can see like part of my hand is starting to like go away. Part of the shadow, but that's because like the green will reflect off my skin. So I'll have a little bit of room so it's not doing that. And we painted the wall and lit appropriately. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so good. So next time you see me, hopefully that's gonna be the case. But until I see you then, you know how it works. Be good, stay safe, all that good stuff. Oh, wait. Gary says, waiting to hear what this latest Nashville Bombers deal was. Sovereign citizen or not? I don't think it's a sovereign citizen. Might have been. Nomadic Wanderer was saying that it was outside of the AT&T building that housed some of the servers for the voting machines. If I had to guess, it might have been someone who was a little too... I'm trying to say this nicely. Someone who believed in the claims of voter fraud more than maybe they should. And I get investigating voter fraud is very important. I am very much for that. However, I'm also someone who cares very much about evidence. And none of the court cases that I'm aware of have produced evidence of extreme voter fraud. So, I mean, you can generate conspiracy theories from that about, oh, the government's hiding it, but even people elected by Trump are saying, no, that's not the case, which leads me to believe that maybe it's not the government working against Trump, in that, in fact, the claims of voter fraud were false. I'm trying to say this nicely and appropriately and not get people riled up, because I know this is a very contentious topic with some people. Oh, and he also had some theories about 5G technology that would do it. A lot of people, 5G, they're saying it like activates the virus and does all these things. It does not. I don't think. So yeah, I think this was conspiracy theories that went a little too far. I don't know, but you guys know the deal. Oh, link to Discord. Well, why don't I? Yeah, so I have a Discord, folks. I talk about things. I make jokes. Um, we have a good time. I share memes I wouldn't share on my normal channel because, I try to appeal to a wide variety of audiences, despite the content of my stuff not being appealing to a wide variety of audiences. Let let me send a little invite. Hey, Rennie's linking my Etsy shop. I appreciate that. I really should advertise it more, but I have a link. I have to sign into. Rennie, would you mind putting this link down? I don't know if it will let you. Hold on. Let me take the space out, and that should work. Yeah, I know it was from you. That's why. The link, yeah. I give you the link. I have to log in to give link. It's weird. You know what? Hold on. Let's see if I can beat you to it. This is the part of the stream where there's no coherent. Wait, what? Oh, I thought. Oh, maybe I misread. I thought you said, "Do you have a link to your Discord for the?" Oh my God. My camera. All right. Anyway, well, my camera's flip flopping because I have it precariously balanced. Okay, yeah, Rennie is okay. You win. There's my Discord. That link should be good for I don't know, 24 hours. And Etsy shop, check it out. I got some fun Jeremy DeWitt stuff. Jerome Williams says I'm a moron. I'm pretty sure Jerome Williams is the person who thinks that I'm not a soldier, and is using some random picture for his profile picture because of operational security, despite giving me his full name and rank. So, good job with your operational security. Or maybe you lied about your rank. You're not a soldier, just pretending to be one, trying to call me out because you don't like what I say. Jerome, you want to say anything about that? That was you, right? You're the guy that's like, oh, you're wrong. You need more than a year of. You need a year of. What was it? It was. All right, so I was MPI. I was Military Police Investigations, folks. Most of us know this. Now, the regulation to become military police investigations is you need 1 year of military police experience. Jerome and friends, profile picture Cory Booker. Jerome and friends seem to think that this means you need 1 year of military police experience as. What was it you said, Jerome? You're very silent now. I can't imagine why. I think if this isn't you, I'm sorry. But you need 1 year of basically line experience. That's not the word they used. But being in a traditional line unit. I spent my first 2 years in DST, drug suppression team, with CID. I was basically a counter-narcotics investigator. And in less than a year, after I did 2 years of that, because it's a 2-year thing, and then you get sent back to a unit, less than a year of being in that unit, I went into MPI. And the claim is that I would have needed more than a year, at least a year, in that line unit to qualify for MPI, despite the fact that the regulation does not establish that. And I know that that's not how that works, because that's not how it worked. I got into MPI school and graduated. So, I don't know what to tell you, dude. You're reading the regulation wrong. Sort of like how sovereign citizens read statutes wrong. But you can't win them all. So, I'm sorry, bud. Anyway, Jerome, do you have any comments before I leave? Come on. You must have something. You're just going to come in here, do that, leave? I guess he is. I'll give it a second. Oh, my camera's freaking out right now. That cable got a little bit of blood. I don't like that. All right. Well, I don't think that Jerome is going to talk to us. I think he's just being himself, throwing something and running away. So, well done on your retreat, you alleged soldier, you. Really well done. You really given soldiers a good name. But anyway, with that out of the way, until the next time, guys, be good, stay safe.